Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Factual Friday. I was looking for something, sorry. Welcome back to Factual Friday. I am Nikisa Jackson. I am your host for a nice space this week. We go live every Friday, just about. Sometimes we miss, but about every Friday around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go live and we talk about something related to HIV. So these are our mini educations. So shout out to you if you're on YouTube. Go ahead and say hello. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. Let me know that you've watched this. Also, I want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow it, like us on Facebook. So if you're seeing this down your feed, I want you to go ahead and do that, and then share this broadcast out to those who may be interested, those who want to support the work that we do. I'll tell you exactly who we are, and share this out. So let's start with who we are. So first, let's start with myself. I think I'm gonna start with myself this week. So I am Nikisa Jackson, born and raised in the great state of Georgia. I'm an author, speaker, wife, mom, life coach, and HIV advocate. And I run this amazing nonprofit organization called Anaya Space Incorporated, where we provide holistic care services to women living with HIV. We do this in the form of support groups, community events, private retreats, and many other things, including support self-care boxes and things like that. And now we're about to enter into more of the medical space, providing mental health services and physical health services. That is our next goal. Um, and Anaya Space is a nonprofit, 501c3 certified. We were founded in 2018, so we are in our fourth year, going into our fifth year, actually. Amazing. And we're celebrating this year. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this link early, right? Let me just put this link in there early. So this is access to all of our links, actually. So you can get access to our email list and everything. And also, we are having a gala on August the 20th at 6 p.m. to 10 in Alpharetta, Georgia. And we're going to just be celebrating all the work that we've done and raising funds to open our clinic. So we're going to have a nice plated dinner. You'll get to come and celebrate with us. You'll get to come eat with us. We're going to dress up. It's a pink and red ball to match our colors, plus HIV awareness they use the color red for that. And we're going to be honoring a woman living with HIV. We'll have swag bags. You can purchase swag. We'll just be talking about all the amazing work that we've done. And we're having a phenomenal keynote speaker, which we'll be announcing soon. But we want you to get your tickets. Tickets are $197 for a short time. Your ticket includes your meal, your entry to get in, and also serves as a donation. Now, if you want to give over and beyond that, please send us an email at admin@anayaspace.org. You can get sponsorship package. We would love for you to sponsor. Sponsorship packages start at $1,000. So we'd love for you to sponsor a package. So definitely go ahead and get your tickets. We'd love to have you. All right, that's my spiel. That's how we're here today. Let me take a sip of water, y'all. Let me take a sip of water. Today, this lesson will not be long. We're already 3 minutes in. It will not be long. We'll be here for just a good 10 minutes. I want to talk about mental health and HIV. So it's Mental Health Awareness Month. Last month, we talked about mental wellness. We talked about general ways to work on your mental wellness and things that you can do, how to incorporate it. But now I want to talk about mental illness. I did mental health and HIV because we're going to expound on this next week. So it's going to be a part two. Part two, we're going to talk more about like self-care and things like that. But this week, we're just going to talk about some of the top disorders that affect people living with HIV, right? Because mental health is very, very important. As you could imagine, being diagnosed with HIV or living with something like HIV could cause a lot of discrimination, a lot of stigma, and it could be a lifestyle change for many, many people. And so just in the natural, if you look at it in the natural, HIV could be hard on your mental health, but there is documented proof, scientific proof, that it is hard. So one thing I know is that 1 in 4 people living with HIV have a mental illness. So that's about 25%. And mental health is something that's near and dear to my heart. I've had my share of mental health issues. I've had my times with the therapist, coaches, needing to just take a break, having to make sure I put myself on a priority, having to step away from different things because it was a lot on my mental health. So my heart goes out to anyone who's dealing with any mental health issues right now. So I want to share this information because it's important. that our community talks about mental health awareness. So today, what I'm going to share with you is really just three things. I'm going to talk about some risk that are related to being at risk for a mental illness while also being diagnosed with HIV. And I'm gonna talk about the biggest two that affect people living with HIV. So if you just want to continue that, if this is something you're interested in, go ahead and share that out. Go ahead and tell me where you're from and just let's hop into it. So first, let me talk about some risks. Some risks for people living with HIV to be diagnosed with a mental illness is not having access to mental health services. I know that sounds weird because they don't have access to have a mental illness. Well, when you take care of your mental health, you take care of mental wellness, there's something called prevention. You could prevent it, right? But if you don't have access, it could get really haywire and out of control. Lack of social support, not having nobody around you to support you, being in isolation or forced isolation. Stigma is still very real. We've talked about that here on the show. Stigma is very, very real. Stigma is one, loss of employment, and then just managing the illness overall, managing what it takes to take care of yourself overall can all lead to put you at risk for developing a mental illness. And because of how the virus works in our body, HIV loves the brain. It loves our immune system, and that all overall could take an effect. So it puts us at risk for behavior and cognitive disorders. So those are just a few of the risks that I wanted to share about that thing. So I want you to think about any people in your life that they're living with HIV. If they don't have social support, or if they don't have access to mental health care services, or if they don't have they're having a hard time managing their life or their medications, and then just everyday life, they could be at risk for a mental illness, right? So I'm going to talk about some signs and symptoms. So the number one is depression. Depression is one of the number one mental illnesses that people living with HIV can be affected with. And it sounds like this. You may see an increased level of sadness, a loss of interest in things that they love at one time, issues with sleep, and the issues with sleep can be tricky because it could be sleeping too much, not being able to go to sleep, or not staying asleep. It could be waking up real early. So just sleep disturbances that are abnormal. So say a person you knew, we're going to say Sally. Say Sally usually sleeps through the whole night. She has no problem sleeping, and lately she's been complaining about not being able to sleep. That could be a sign of depression. So aches and pains and headaches, and all of a sudden they're having body aches, they're having pains and headaches. They're just not their self like normal. Just lack of loss of interest in that sadness. And the thing is, it can't be like one day, y'all. So if you notice it happened one day and then it never happened again, that may have just been a day that they were having. But if you're noticing it over an amount of time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, like, okay, we need to go get that checked out. So it may be a good time to go talk to your doctor about getting in some mental health care, go talk to a therapist and things like that. So depression is the number one mental illness that affects people living with HIV, right? So that's our first one. Y'all, I told y'all, these are mini educations. They are going to go fast. And it's probably because I talk fast. But I'm trying to slow down for y'all. So the second one is anxiety. And we're just going to shout out to Star. Star is visiting. So if you hear something in the back, it's my dog. She got a lot going on. I don't know what she's doing tonight. So she's on here. So anxiety. Anxiety is excessive worry about everyday life. So, in life, you can get anxiety about different stuff. Like something could trigger you. You feel a little anxious about this, a little anxious about that. But we're talking about excessive. So generalized anxiety disorder, excessive worry, right? And it could be things like work, things like family, things like money, just difficulty concentrating is a symptom. Sleep issues too could be a symptom with anxiety, and they just can't seem to stop worrying, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter what they say, what they do. It just seems like they cannot stop worrying. That is a sign of generalized anxiety disorder. And so I would suggest if this has been you, because it may feel normal to you, because one thing I noticed is that one thing I've struggled with is anxiety, if I could be honest. One thing I've struggled with, honestly, is anxiety, right? And the thing about it is, for me, it felt normal. If I could be honest, it felt normal. It felt normal to worry. It felt normal to be concerned. It felt normal to me until I found out it was not normal. Because what would happen with me, it would affect me from going to sleep. Like I could not sleep at night. I was up worried about stuff that I shouldn't be worried about. I'll be concerned. I'll be thinking about something that I probably shouldn't be thinking about. And I'm like, what is happening? And I could not sleep. It was just taking a lot of my time, a lot of my day. So what I ended up doing was realizing like, hey, I have a problem. So I got into some therapy. I did some natural strategies. To help me get better, and I made self-care a priority, and also I manage my triggers. That's a big thing for me, and anxiety is managing my triggers, so I know what kind of things trigger me. So for example, being late is a trigger for me. It's a big trigger. I don't like being late. And if I think I'm gonna be late, I start worrying. I start getting concerned. I start saying all kind of stuff. Like I just really be like, okay, I'm gonna be late. Oh my god, I don't want to be late. So what I start doing is, if I think I'm gonna be late somewhere, I just let somebody know, and it helps. Or I try to wake up early, get up early, do things early. I'd rather be early than late, and that's one thing that I do. So if I have something, I gotta be there at 2. I try to get there at 1:30, 1:45. I try to leave extra early. I had to go take a test the other day, and it was probably 20 minutes away from my house. And I had to be there by 10:15 at the latest. I think I left my house at 9 o'clock. I might have left at 9:30. I might have. And that was me pushing it. I got there at 9:50 something. And I sat in my car till 10:12 and got out the car and walked in at 10:15. Because the weird thing about me is that I don't want to be late, but I don't want to be waiting. So it's a real quick window of what I want to do, right? That is just real quick, okay? So real quick window of how this is gonna work out. So that's what I do. Y'all, I am sweating. Okay, that's not oil. This light is hot. Okay, I see why they have air on inside their studios at the news station. I'm gonna have to start doing that. I mean, you got air on. Oh Jesus. But anyway, it's hot. So yeah, that's what I got. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. So, but those are the two that we're going to talk about today when it comes to two mental illnesses that affect people living with HIV, and that's depression and anxiety. I gave y'all some tips here. So if you're just joining, go back to the beginning. This is a very short live. These are supposed to serve as little mini educations where you can pop in on a Friday night, get you a little bit of education, take it back with you, and spread the news. Also, I want to remind you that we have a gala. And remember, if you go ahead and get your tickets, you get a free book from me. You will get this signed. So go ahead and get your tickets. I dropped the link in the chat. I'm going to drop it again. This is the link. You click that link and you'll get access. You click, it's a gala 2022. Go ahead and register for our gala. Go ahead and get your seat. It's in Alpharetta, Georgia. Get one for a friend. If you want to sponsor, well, go ahead and send us an email. We would love for you to sponsor what we are doing in Georgia for women living with HIV. Yeah, I'm quite shiny, y'all. God is good. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all have a good weekend. Oh Jesus! If you watch this video, I hope you laugh because I feel like I'm all over the place today. But listen, I hope y'all got the message. Y'all have a good Friday evening, and I will see you all next Friday where we're gonna go to part 2. We're gonna talk about self-care, and we're gonna talk about some strategies to deal with mental illness. See you then.